Guys, back to Xtreme Auto Caravan and Camping with you again today on a JB Xtreme. Another off-grid setup. So if you guys want to run all your devices like the air conditioner and the microwave, induction cooking, washing machine, toaster, kettle, this is the setup for you guys. So what we've got here is 560 amp hours of custom-made Australian PowerPole lithium batteries from over in Melbourne there. Thanks, Paul. Shout out to old mate. Doing a great job there. So these batteries in unison have a combined discharge of 500 amp continuous. So each battery can run 250 amps continuous. What that means is I can actually run this whole system from one battery. It's crazy. So we've got two of them in this one. So 560 amp hours, over 6.5 kilowatt hours of storage capacity in lithium for this. And all the Victron fruit down here, minus the DC charger. So we've gone for a fair amount of solar on this. We've done two separate arrays on the roof. So we've got a 480 watt system, which is taken care of by this controller here, this Smart 130 Victron. And then we've got three, did I get that right? Yeah, got to think, do so many solar jobs these days. So yeah, we've got three 200s on the roof of this, and we've gone for three 160s. So we've got a 480 watt system and a 680 watt system, both working in unison together. That's over 1,000 watts, guys. This is heaps. So 1,080 watts to be exact. So a 480 watt system and a 600 watt system, all tied into the two solar controllers here, taking care of simultaneous charge on top of the DC charger, which is a 50 amp Redarc with the side Anderson plug. Should old mate want to plug in a portable panel, he's able to do that up to 600 odd watts. So the 50 amp Redarc DC charger for vehicle charging, and that's going to be pumping in that 50 amps on top of the solar that comes in. So on a good sunny day, as an example, you know, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, if your batteries are 50%, right, and you pull up stumps and you're about to head up to your next camp, well, not only are you going to get the 50 from the vehicle every hour, right, 50, you're going to get the solar on top of that. It doesn't prioritize. It'll work both together. So just as an example, if you were to pump in 800 odd watts, you know, 50 amps, 700, you're talking 1,400 watts of charge coming in while you're driving. Why not? The sun's shining, use your solar. Your engine's running, use your alternator. Combined charge, happy days. And this system, as with all of my systems, guys, will allow you to do that. We've gone for the Multiplus 12 3000 120 amp inverter charger, flawlessly, seamlessly integrated into all the factory CMS outlets, and you know, microwave, toaster, kettle, induction cooker, whatever you want. Even the Element on the Swift, it'll still run. You can do that with this system. It's very cool. Charge laptops, hair dryers, you know, why not? Big screen TVs, whatever you want to run, you can run it all at the touch of your touchscreen, guys. And you guys have seen my other videos. It is that easy. But basically, this is a full off-grid system with the ability to run all those items. So, very happy with it. As with every job, I keep saying it, they're all different. And this one is no exception again. And the reason behind that is old mate had a couple of batteries, you know, externally mounted on this as they are. And to relocate them from this side, he had a weight issue, an imbalance, right? So he wanted all of this stuff to be put here and not under the bed, which would have been the more practical location from an electronic point of view. But he really didn't use this space at all. And this had the drawers in it. And I've left the drawer fronts off. We're actually going to hinge them so he's able to access this area should he need to. So he said, look, can you fit him in here? And I could have actually fitted all of this in this one area. That's why there's this big space here and I've kind of spaced it out. But I've kept the third battery in mind. All right. So these setups that I do, I try and allow for that possibility of an extra battery. You know, sometimes you can't do it, but when you can, we try to allow for it. So this one has a provision for a third battery. That would take this to like 840 amp hours, over 10 kilowatt hours of storage. That would be huge. I mean, this is huge as it is, but it's not the point. You can upgrade at any time, and I do that. Had I put all of it in this area, we would have struggled to fit that possible third battery, which is why we've done the split. So I got a 1.2 meter length between the inverter on the cable runs and the actual batteries here. So with this one, this is the original Harrier air conditioner on this. So they're able to run this completely off grid. You know, walk up, press a button, hit the remote, happy days. Even in bed, old mate doesn't have a diesel heater yet. So until we come back to him to do his diesel heating, he's able to run the heater on that for a couple of hours here and there without any dramas. They are less efficient on heat, guys. They always are. That thing will pull over 100 amps at 12 volts, like crazy. 1200, 1400 watts running that on heat, which isn't really efficient. And in winter, you know, solar yield is at its minimum. So if you're going to run something like heating in winter, gas or diesel, it's the only way to go off grid, guys. Don't rely on your batteries to keep things warm in here. It's just not efficient with that solar yield being so low. So of course you could manage it. You know, if you had a generator and you wanted to fill your batteries up and then run that, you know, manage it however you want, and you can do that with this system. So we've gone for the Cerbo touchscreen, touch 50 with the Cerbo. Now this has the ability to pump in 120 amps from mains. All right, so you have full control over what's going on. This system here will allow these people to pretty much run whatever they want, whenever they want. And I mean, I love it. It's so cool to be able to do this at the touch of a button. You know, you're not limited to go to caravan parks where, you know, they might be booked out with their powered sites for weeks in advance, but they've got unpowered sites available, you know, because it's the most common. And they're cheaper, well, usually, but maybe not these days. But my point is, you got more options when you've got a setup like this. You're not limited to powered sites and stuff like that, which are the most popular, as you guys know. So you can take that unpowered site, or if they're booked out, the caravan park's booked out, we'll free camp, you know. And with a setup like this, you can still run all your devices. That's the whole idea of it. So I'll give you some rundowns. What have we done on this? We've put a couple of Sirocco fans in this for old mate. So we've got a Sirocco fan up there, really efficient fans, and one near his bed area. We've also done the WITI full alarm system for old mate with the tracking on it. So he's able to, you know, securely set this when he leaves, and if anyone wants to try to hitch this up and drive off, it's just going to grab those brakes and flash every light known possible and pretty much make some loud noises down the road. So good protection for old mate when he stores the thing. RUVI tags. Okay, so these are the temperature sensors. Old mate's gone for 2 of them, so we're going to go fridge and freezer, and I'll do it live so you guys can see it. I think I've already done a video similar, but I'll pull the tags out and show you how they load up, which is recommended when you do multiples of these. So fridge, freezer, you'll be able to see this up on the Cerbo screen as well as remotely. So this whole system, guys, is completely remotely monitored. I can see it, old mate can see it on the VRM portal from Victron, thanks guys, and I can control it if I need any firmware updates, any software updates. If something's released that old mate doesn't know about and this needs to be taken care of, I can do it all remotely. I can even do it on my smartphone, so I can do it while I'm on a job to help someone else out. There we have it. Let's make sure I've covered everything. Oh yeah, so all the MIDI fuses down here, all labelled clearly and easy to see. Solar 50, solar 30, DC charger, mains 12 volt, and the WITI is down there. Got a couple of small ones for the Cerbo and the smart shunt back there, as well as the large stuff for the inverter. And all of these panels pop off, so you lift up the seat. If you ever needed to access it for whatever reason, you can get to it. But this is a set and forget system, guys, all remotely controlled by that touchscreen. So old mate really never needs to get down here unless he's swapping out a fuse because he's, I don't know, put a screw through the wall or something and he's shorted out one of my systems. Or, you know, he's, I don't know, cleaning under here for dust or whatever. Which leads me to the ventilation. So you can see the drawer fronts that are off this now. I'm yet to do it. I've got to go to the hardware store to get some short hinges because they're only a 16mm drawer front. But these had the drawers in it. So that was waste of space. You know, if you were to see the drawers, even around the drawers where it, you know, went in and out, even if you were to put things around it, you know, it's going to fall. It's a waste of space. So this was why we put this here. But the drawers that went in have got really nice drawer fronts. So to make things look factory, we'll put a couple of small hinges on this and he'll actually still be able to use this to access whatever he wants to, just like that. Very easy. So ventilation's done through the front and back on these guys down here and at the rear of the solar controllers and up high in this corner. So there is really good ventilation. And as you can see, there is a lot of space around the products here. I've got plenty of height, plenty of depth here. This is all open, guys. So another question I did have, and I should touch base on it. With the multi ones, the lid, you guys might have seen the little videos that I've been taking the lids off these recently. So the little top hat, they call it, can be removed. It's just 4 stainless screws that come off. But that exposes that front ventilated area. Just gives it more uniform airflow. The air did hit it and kind of go out sideways. But if you look at the installation, sometimes that little back vent there that it would force the air through, it would face to the solar controllers or something else. So we try to avoid that by taking that hat off. Not all the time, but only sometimes. And that just forces the air through the vent a bit better, so it can actually convect through there and kind of go up and out. Very easy to see, and you know, it just keeps things running more efficient because, as you know, the cooler things are, the more efficient they run. And that bears true with solar. That's why we raise them off the roof 50mm, guys, to give it that airflow underneath the solar panels. And being a lightweight glass panel, they're probably the most efficient on the market. These Trina cells are at 23%, mono PERC cells. And the cooler they are, the more efficient they are, the more power they'll produce. So we try to aim for that as well. Now, the layout on the roof, we've gone, it's a 200 there. So on the left-hand side, so a 200, a 200, and then another 200 in that corner to avoid the shading issues. Then we've gone for a 160 in front of it, which is really close to the wine guard, but far enough away to, you know, it doesn't close on top of the panel. So a single 160 there, and the other two 160s are on that front angle there. And there's no shading issues with that. So old mate, obviously when you're free camping, your terrestrial antenna isn't up, right? We're not. I mean, it might be, but you just have to understand that it will diminish the power of your solar production if the sun is in a certain position. That's the facts. If you shade solar, it diminishes the power, and the numbers are easily seen. So we try to avoid that at all costs. Sometimes it's unavoidable and you just have to deal with it. But when you can, your power production goes through the roof. And yeah, it makes more sense to me. So these front two panels, if the sun was that way, which, you know, in this position it is, but we've got rain, guys. I can't really do much solar testing. Those two panels will be pretty much angling towards that summer sun, like all the time. Yes, the rest are flat mounted, but the production on these two will actually exceed the 200s by quite a bit. And I'll be able to see it this coming summer with, you know, with the Cerbo being online. So this thing has like crazy potential to pump in a lot of power from solar. I'm going to guess sort of in the range of 80 in good sun. That's heaps of charge. That's enough to keep up with this air conditioner quite easily. So these Harriers will pull sort of between 40 and 70 at 12 volt per hour. It is variable based on obviously ambient temperature and, you know, temperature inside of your van and how well it's insulated. But generally speaking, if you put this on kind of early on in the day, say, I don't know, 10 o'clock, by the time it's lunchtime and it's starting to warm up, your van's already at temperature. So maintaining that temperature is crucial for efficiencies. If you try to cool your van down, it's just not going to work. Like, it's just going to be inefficient. So there we have it, guys. I'll give you a rundown of the system and we'll put some loads on and yeah, enjoy that. All right, so before I do the mandatory load test and rundown, guys, this is the layout. Oop, get rid of that drawer front, which needs to be on a hinge shortly. There's all the MIDI fuses. Very simple, very easy to deal with if should you get a problem. And they're the MIDI fuses. You know, high current MIDI fuses, excellent stuff. So there's the inverter fuses, two of them, double up on the 50, so it's 100 square cable running over the inverter. All of the stuff's here, all the batteries here, nice and neatly strapped down, ready to go. Then we'll move over to this side. And here we can see plenty of space. I've got the drawer front off still so you can see. Ooh, let's angle it up. There we go. Put my hand in there. So there's the Redarc 50 taking care of the side Anderson plug as well as vehicle charging. There's the 130 taking care of the three 160s. And there's the 150 taking care of the three 200s. And obviously there's the Multiplus inverter charger, ready to go, all nice and secure and neatly fitted. And you can see the space in here, like I said. So this fits in there. We actually had this spun around, this JB, so we put it right in there. And it did push this side and this side of the inverter hard up against this, right, which is the back of his cupboard. So I would have to, you know, double vent that back area, which I didn't like. But it kept this open. It did put this front vent here. So we were like, all right, we'll vent it through here. The problem is it draws air in from the base. So we needed to get fresh air into this area somehow. So, I mean, yes, we could have run some ducting or something like that to it to do it. But I think this was a better solution. Splitting it across this area, because it was redundant anyway and old mate didn't use it, this was a better way. But just showing you how much space that you could have had if you squeeze things in. But we try and inhibit more airflow around the device. And, you know, even if as time goes on, old mate wants to put more more product in here or change something, or we can, you know, we can add another couple of solar controllers back here. We can build a board. It just gives you more room for activities. There we go, guys. Now let's do the load test. Right, so I'll put it's freezing cold, it's rain. Like, mate, what a wet Australia we are having. Yeah, so we'll go 25 and we'll go heat on the Harrier. And we will go microwave. I've got a cup in here, so we'll put that on. Go 1 minute. So let's have a look at this. So that's running there. Happy days. I'll bring this camera around so I'm in it with you. There we go. So what do we got? There's our loads. You can see what we're pulling at the moment. Very easy to see, very easy to understand. I'm listening to that AC ramp up now. Alright, so the AC is ramping up. And we will put on... Might dig out a toaster or something. Give me a second, guys. Oh yeah. Hot days, hot days. Let's search. And you know, old mate's got the electric blankets. That's another point I should always bring up. You know, the electric blankets, they use bugger all. A lot of people think that, like, they're thirsty as, and hopefully we can get a bit of a rating on this one. A lot of them don't have it, but what have we got there? Nah. Oh, there we go, right at the top. 1 amp. 1 amp at 220 volts. So it's not that's max load what it can take, but I've had these plugged in. Actually, I'll use a lot less. No, this is brand new. Old mate's never used it. Oh yeah, we should plug it in. Let's give it a go. So I think that's like a really awesome electric blanket. Let's go down there and check it out because it's on there. What have we got? It's on H. I don't know if you can see that, guys. H976. We'll go like H. I think that's flat out. Let's see where she's pulling. Well, that's something different, guys. I know I've already, we've done heaps of jobs with electric blankets, so I know they draw bugger all, but there you go. That's an electric blanket on flat out. Obviously, we've got a bit of solar. Yeah, that's all I'm getting at the moment with a very, very wet day. Very wet day. I did forget to mention to you guys another feature that's pretty new. Well, I don't know if it's new, but that I've just been recently made aware of. if you guys are running widgets and all that on your phone, with the VRM setup, when you're on the portal, you're able to go through some settings. I don't know exactly how to do it, guys, but I'm just going to show it to you. You have to go in your widgets and kind of enable it. But pretty much with an iPhone, you go over to your right. Look at that. That's my concept. So you can actually create a widget. Actually, I believe it's through this. So if you go to customize and add, yeah, there it is. So it's add up the top. So you're going to have the VRM app on your phone. That's right. And you go to add, and then you scroll for your VRM. See through these apps here? I think it's there it is. So VRM, make sure you have that one. Not the Victron Connect, must be the VRM. Then you click onto that. And look, if you've got tanks, you can add that widget. You've got environment, or your temperatures. So if you wanted to take care of your freezer and your refrigerator and all that, you can have all your temperatures come up as a widget. It's just really quick, easy access. EV charging station, not doing that yet. And there's your status one. And that's the one I have. So the status widget, I think there's 2 or 3. No, sorry, I've got that one. I had that one. That's good because it's nice and small, and it, if you only want to just know that info. But I just like the look of this. You can see the consumption and what you've received and produced and consumed. It's all there, and that's what I have. So we'll close that, and I'll show you my widgets again. Done, and there it is. So that's my caravan, all the way home, some 50-60 k's away, and I'm able to see that because it's on the VRM portal. And yes, obviously if you load up onto your devices or whatever you want to do, and you go through your VRM, you can do that if you want to, and that's fine. But this is just a quick example. So phone locked, open up your phone, Face ID, come on, there we go, and then just swipe to the right. How quick and simple is that? Absolute beautiful. How's that for a cracking photo? That was our north trip we recently did. Enjoy, guys. The Ruby tags. These beautiful little puppies. Wireless temperature, humidity, motion sensors. Now, old mate wants one for his fridge and freezer. Now, the way I do it, I'll flip you around and show you how I do it. So from this screen, straight to menu, settings. You've got to make sure you're on the latest firmware. Go all the way through to I/O. And Bluetooth sensors is right there. Now it's going to pick up my van, alright, because I've got 2 sensors. Now it will pick them up. Well, it should pick them up. I'm only like 8 meters away. There it is. Alright. That's my van. I'm not interested in that one, which is why it's left off. I'm interested in this one. And this one is called fridge. So it's picked up both mine now. Alright, take note they're off. You got to remember those numbers because you do not want to select those. So I know them off by heart. I'm going to pull this tag. Look at that. It says 2C4. That's that one. So that's fridge. So 2C4 is fridge. You turn it on. You go back out to menu. And there it is. It's come up straight away. Now I'll relabel this and then we'll do the other one. Now, so I just know that number 28. You can remember it from there, or the actual ID of the Ruby temp. But so 28 is fridge. Now I'll pull this other one. Go back to menu, down to settings, back to Bluetooth, in and out, and then we'll pull the tag on the other one. I'll do this while I'm holding the camera, so I might get shaky. Oh, there we go. 35. Now I know that's the freezer. All right, I've just pulled the tag on that one. Back to menu, that'll come up as 29. So fridge and freezer. So we just go like this. Throw that in there. That one there. Throw that down there. You can put it wherever you want. Down low, obviously the best spot. And I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out what's fridge and freezer. You're going to see one fall quite quickly once the temperature kind of sucks through the device, and then you can work it out from there too. That's another way to do it. I can put them anywhere. I can go one in the battery area if I want to. I can put one down here in the inverter area. You might want to monitor anything. Temperature, that's what it's for. There we go. Enjoy, guys.